OG Lee in the house once again, once again. Thank goodness, thank goodness. Man, you don't know what it's like to have your wife and your mother and your sisters get along. Oh man, that is a beautiful thing. And let me just say that when that happens, when you have kids who are your mother's grandchildren and your sister's nieces and nephews and everybody gets along, oh, you talking about such a wonderful family environment. What a wonderful family environment. Now, on the flip side of that is when your wife and your parents, her in-laws, they don't get along. And your sisters don't get along with your girlfriend or fiance or spouse. Man, you're talking about that being a disaster. I would not have married a woman that my mother and my sisters didn't get along with. I wouldn't do that. Because that's asking for a life of turmoil. It is. I mean, think about this. Your mother does not like your spouse. So that means that they are not going to get along. Which means they are not going to want to be in the company of each other for very long. Which means what? You won't come over. She won't go over. What does that mean over time? Division, split. Before you know it, you and your parents are distant. Why? Because of your wife. Someone you knew didn't get along with your mom, your dad, or whatever. And you married him anyway, like a fool. And I'm saying that. Because what fool would want to split his family up over some pussy? Because that's what it boils down to a lot of times. If you want to marry someone after 3 or 6 months and choose them over your family that you've known for 18, 20 years, 25 years, you choose someone else, it's got to be for pussy. There's no way you could know that person in 6 months the way you know your family who loved you and developed you and nurtured you for them 18, 20, whatever amount of years. Right? So you basically made the choice of her over them. And if you're young, I'm telling you, you marry for pussy in general. Because I've seen so many dudes want to marry someone within a month. They fell in love in a month? Are you kidding me? Sometimes they don't even speak the same language, right? Which does say, I guess, that they had this together. They had a feeling. But the feeling they had at that time was he wanted to marry after a week. Man, what's her favorite color? Man, I don't know. All I know, she got some good pussy. And that's what you expect out of a young person. That's what he fell in love with. Because when you're young, and the reason I say that is because when you're young, you're visual. Most of the time when you're 18, 25 years old, you didn't fall in love with someone, some female who had a short leg and walked with a limp. You didn't go to the club when you were young expecting that female to be in there dancing, that you was going to go for her. You went for physical something, her ass, her long hair, her complexion, something like that when you were young. That's what you fell in love with. And most people will find that doesn't last because that wears off. So my mom, who I love and respect and value her opinion and her discernment, if she says to me, wait, look, that's not the female that you should marry, I'm not going to marry her. I might screw her a while long if that's what I fell in love with, but I'm not going to marry her and bring her into my family because I know my moms don't like her. Immediately, if you can't get along with the matriarch, you ain't going to be able to come into the family. It makes no sense to bring someone in. That's like saying that you're going to mix oil and water and expect them at some point. And see, that's what a lot of young brothers will think too. And this is another thing I've experienced. You're thinking that over time, it'll get better, but it doesn't. Whenever you put the oil in the water, they never, ever coagulate. They never come together. And so the point is, understand what you're getting ready to do. Now, if you want to do that, because I know some people, they say, shit, I don't care about my family. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if they don't ever come around. So that's fine if that's what you're wanting. But if you're the type of person who's thinking, well, this is who I'm marrying, I'm going to have my kids with, and you visualize that they would be together with your family as aunts and uncles and grandfathers and all, realize that if you marry someone that your family doesn't like now, in all likelihood, they won't like her 18 years from now. And that bad spirit that you've shown all of these times between you, your wife, your grandfather, the grandmother, the aunts, the uncle, that bad spirit is not good and not conducive for a good family. And so when you look at what you're getting ready to do, when you bring in someone from the outside, right? Your family's been gelling and everything's been, conducive to a nice progressive family. And you have to be careful who you bring in your family, because one person can start a division that you don't realize, but it just gradually, incrementally divides the family. I've seen it time and time again. When a male brings a female into the family, and the females that are a part of his nuclear, if they don't like her, man, you a fool for going through with that. You're a glutton for punishment. You want to have some punishment in your life. And I'm talking about over an extended period of time. There's all kinds of instances where I could show you where the daughter-in-law needs the mother-in-law. The mother-in-law needs the daughter-in-law. The son needs the father needs the son. All of this has to work in a family, right? Who sometimes needs to go and pick the kid up from school, right? Sometimes somebody needs to be there with the kid and represent at a baseball game. Family outings need to be conducive. Nobody needs to be sitting over here, don't like this one and this. Man, if you keep that family right by bringing in people who get along with the other people, you're doing the right thing. But if you introduce somebody who you clearly knows the family does not get along with, but especially your mother and your sister, you ain't nothing but a fool. Yeah, I said it. This is OG Lee, and I'll see you again soon.